Hello and welcome to Fun Bikes TV. My name's James and today we're going to assemble a GOTRAX G4 300w 36 volt electric scooter. We're now going to start assembly on our GOTRAX scooter. This is nice and simple to do. There's only 4 bolts to actually attach to fully build the scooter. However, we do need to do a nut and bolt check and some setup parts on the scooter as well once we've done the assembly. You'll find in the box, along with the scooter, you had the clear plastic bag that has 4 bolts with it and an Allen key. This is all you need to assemble the actual scooter itself. We're now going to start the assembly on the GOTRAX scooter. To start off with, we need to put the handlebar head unit into the actual stem itself. Feed the cable coming down in, and then push the handlebars down into the stem like so. You then align this red bracket with the holes. The 4 bolts that came with the scooter, I'll go through these to insert them and hold them in position. You put one in loosely to start off with, and then do one on the opposite side. Then insert your last 2 bolts loosely to start off with. You will feel these bolts start to get tighter once you get to a certain point. That is due to the blue thread lock that the factory has applied to the threads to help stop them come loose once they're fitted to the vehicle. Work your way around all 4 bolts, making sure that they're fully tightened and that the head unit is secure within the handlebar stem. We've now fully assembled our GOTRAX scooter. It was nice and simple to do. There was just the 4 bolts to attach the head unit to the handlebar stem. However, we do need to fully nut and bolt check the scooter and make sure everything is set correctly, as it is only factory assembled. Now we've assembled the scooter, the first thing we're going to start to do is a nut and bolt check to make sure everything is tight and secure. Using a 5mm Allen key, make sure that your levers are tight on the scooter. The 2 silver bolts underneath each of them. Make sure you don't over tighten these and cause anything to crack, but make sure that they're nipped solid and tight on the scooter. Using a 3 Allen key to start off with, make sure that this section of the folding mechanism is tight and secure on the scooter. There's a bolt on both sides for this. Once we've tightened these bolts up and we're happy with that they're secure, we're then going to move on to the rest of the stem assembly at the bottom. You need a 5 Allen key to tighten the folding mechanism to make sure that it's secure, with a bolt on both sides. After this, you will need a 6 Allen key to tighten up the 2 bolts down here, 1 from each side, that clamp it onto the actual forks. We are now ready to make sure that the front wheel is secure on the scooter. Using the 5 Allen key, the first thing we're going to do is make sure that the split rim on the scooter is tight and secure. So work your way around each bolt in the centre, making sure that they're all tight. Once you've done this, we can then set the brake caliper up on the other side of the scooter. We're now going to make sure that our brake caliper is secure onto the scooter. You'll need a 4 Allen key to make sure that your mounting bolts at the top and the bottom are tight. Now these are actually elongated holes, so if your brake disc is rubbing on the caliper, you can actually adjust the position of the caliper slightly by loosening off the top and the bottom bolts and then moving the caliper from side to side. So give the wheel a spin over. If there's no rubbing on the scooter, then it shouldn't need adjusting. And then using the 4 Allen key, make sure the top and bottom bolts are tight. You'll then need a 5 Allen key to make sure that the cable retaining bolt and clamp are tight on the caliper as well. This section here on the top of the caliper allows you to tension the cable up. So by winding this up, it effectively puts the brake on slightly. As you can hear now, just by that little adjustment on there, the brake caliper is now rubbing. But if your brake, over a period of time, your brake cable will stretch. So the easiest way to adjust it, rather than doing this at first, is to simply wind this up, then using an 8 spanner, wind that nut down and fully tighten it up. We now need to also make sure the actual brake disc itself is secure. If you find a suitable starting point on the disc, look for, say, a small arrow on it or a number with the size of the disc on, and then this allows you to find the relevant bolt and start to tighten all the bolts up. This will be a 2.5 Allen key. Once you've tightened all the disc bolts on there and you're happy that they're secure, then use a 19 spanner or socket to make sure that the front wheel is tight on the scooter. We've now fully tightened everything at the front of the scooter and just need to make sure that everything at the rear and the stand are tight on the scooter. Using an 8 socket, make sure that the 2 stand mounting bolts are secure. If you tighten the rear one first, fold the stand down, and then you can tighten the front one. That will need an 8 socket to tighten up those bolts. You then need to make sure that the stand mounting point just here at the rear to stop it damaging the frame is also tight on there. Using the 4 Allen key, make sure 2 bolts are nipped up tight. We're now ready to move to the rear of the scooter. Start off with, on the rear of the scooter, we're going to make sure that the brake caliper and the cable retaining bolt are tight on the scooter. So again, using the 5 Allen key, just like on the front, just make sure that the cable is nipped up tight. Spin your back wheel over to make sure you've got no rub on it as you're going along. And then tighten your mounting bolts using the 4 Allen key, again on here. You'll also see that you've got some small Allen key bolts tucked under the bottom of the scooter here. Do make sure that these are tight and secure. Situated here and here. Use the 3 Allen key. Ensure that they are tight. And then repeat the process on the opposite side of the scooter. The last thing we need to do is to make sure that the rear mudguard mounting bolts on the top are tight and secure. We're now going to tighten the bolts that secure the rear mudguard to the scooter. For this, you will need a 3 Allen key, and let's just make sure that each one is tight on the scooter. We've now fully assembled our GOTRAX 300W 36 volt scooter. Do remember that you need to do a nut and bolt check before or after every use to help to maintain your scooter to a high standard. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video.